Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the science of flow, an incredible concept from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And we're going to explore a really fascinating paradox. What if the key to a happier, more engaged life isn't found in relaxation, but actually somewhere you would least expect it? So let's just kick things off with a question that pretty much flips our whole idea of happiness right on its head. It's a paradox that I'm willing to bet you felt, and figuring it out might just change how you see your entire week. And this brings us to what researchers call the happiness paradox. It's this huge disconnect between what we think is going to make us happy, our free time, and what the data shows is actually way, way more engaging. Okay, so this is where it gets really weird. When you're at work, you're being challenged, you're using your skills, you are, by every objective measure, highly engaged. And yet, there's that voice in your head going, I cannot wait to get out of here. Then, you get to your precious free time, the challenges drop off, you're not really using your skills, and you end up feeling kind of bored or apathetic. But you're telling yourself, this is it, this is what I've been waiting for. It's a total mismatch. And look, this isn't just a gut feeling. This is backed by some serious data. After tracking thousands of people's day-to-day lives, the pattern was just undeniable. Our brains are way more switched on, way more focused when we're working. The structure of a job, the clear goals, the immediate feedback, that is exactly the kind of stuff our minds are built to thrive on. So why are we in this constant state of conflict? I mean, what is going on? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we have to talk about the single most important resource you have. And no, it's not time and it's not money. It's the currency of your mind. The technical term for this is psychic energy, but let's just call it what it really is, your attention. Seriously, think of it like a currency. You only have a limited amount to spend every single day, and the quality of your life, literally, comes down to how and where you decide to invest it. And at any given moment, your attention is in one of two states. It can be in what's called psychic entropy. That's that feeling of inner chaos, right? Where worry or boredom or anxiety just makes you feel like you're wasting your life. Or it can be in flow, a state of perfect order where you're so completely immersed that you feel this deep sense of enjoyment and growth. So what is this flow state we keep talking about? Well, you know it. It's being in the zone. It's when you're so absorbed in what you're doing that you completely lose track of time, your self-consciousness just melts away, and the activity itself is all the reward you need. It's honestly one of the best feelings we can experience, and it's totally achievable in our everyday lives. Now I get it. This might sound like a really nice, kind of philosophical idea, but how do we actually know any of this is real? Well, it turns out this is all grounded in decades of some really fascinating research that gave us an unprecedented peek into how people actually live. The secret weapon was this really clever method called the experience sampling method. Researchers literally gave people pagers, yes, pagers, that would beep at random times throughout the day. And whenever it went off, they had to stop and write down exactly what they were doing and how they were feeling in that very instant. It was like taking a biopsy of their daily life, capturing pure, unfiltered data before memory could come in and mess it all up. Okay, so we've got the problem, we've got the science behind it. Now for the most important part. What do we do with all this? How can we stop just letting life happen to us and start becoming the architects of our own experience? Let's start with the workday. The big shift here is to stop seeing your job as just a list of things you have to do and start treating it like a craft. This means you stop waiting for your boss to give you goals. You start setting your own. You invent little challenges for yourself, create your own ways to track your progress. You essentially turn your job into a game that you control and that you actually want to get better at. All right, so that's work. Now, what about our free time? This is where we come to a fork in the road. A really crucial choice between two kinds of leisure. You've got passive leisure, mindlessly scrolling, binge-watching another series, which asks nothing of you, and let's be honest, often leaves you feeling kind of blah. And then there's active leisure, which demands your skill and your focus. And that's where the good stuff is. So the move here is to intentionally trade some of that passive consumption for active engagement. This means picking up a hobby that has room to grow, something that challenges you, like playing an instrument or a sport. It means having a real conversation instead of just sitting in the same room looking at your phones. The goal is always the same. Find things that demand you invest your full attention. And here's the thing. When you start to deliberately engineer more flow into your life, day after day, something really incredible starts to happen. This isn't just about collecting a few more good moments. It actually starts to change who you are at a fundamental level. It leads you toward what Csikszentmihalyi called the ultimate goal. You begin to develop what's called an autotelic personality. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It just means you become someone who is intrinsically motivated. You don't need a paycheck or a pat on the back to feel rewarded. For you, the reward is the doing of the thing itself. You learn how to create your own enjoyment pretty much anywhere you are. I mean, just think about what kind of person this is. Someone who's super curious, who doesn't shy away from a challenge, and who is way more focused on the joy of the activity than on how they look doing it. These people have essentially mastered the art of investing their attention. They've turned the process of living itself into a flow-producing activity. So if you take away one thing from all of this, let it be this. A happy, meaningful life is not something you just stumble upon. It's something you build, one well-invested moment of attention at a time. It's all about taking control of what's happening inside your own head. And that's really the question we want to leave you with. This isn't just some theory to think about, it's a question to live by. As you go about the rest of your day, your work, your evening, remember that your attention is your most valuable currency. How are you going to choose to spend it?